We all love a natural stone countertop, but getting a stain on that countertop is scary and upsetting. How are you going to fix it, and how much is it going to cost? Well, in this video, we are going to talk through some of the most common ways that you can ruin a natural stone countertop, some of those stains, how to deal with some of those stains, when to call in a professional, and then how to seal your natural stone countertops so that you can avoid all of these problems. Give this video a thumbs up if you love a good natural stone counter. And just a quick reminder, if you haven't done so already, to subscribe to the Clean My Space channel. And by the way, this video is brought to you by Makers Clean. You can check it out at makersclean.com or makersclean.ca. It's our sister company where we sell premium microfiber cleaning tools and more. So is natural stone really that durable if it's susceptible to staining? Well, let's talk this through. Marble, granite, and quartz are the most common types of natural stone countertops and finishes that you're going to see in a home. And they are really durable, and they can last for decades as long as you take good care of them, because they are not completely impervious to staining and damage. If you think about specifically marble and granite, they're like really fancy rocks that have been polished, okay? So when you take a rock and you throw it in a lake and you pull it out, that rock is dark. It's darkened because it's absorbed water. And what this means is that those stones are porous, just like your natural stone countertops. So if you let something wet sit on marble or granite for an extended period of time and it's not properly sealed, you're gonna have a wet spot. Now, quartz is less prone to this because it's essentially crushed up stone mixed with resin, but to an extent, it can still get those stains as well. The biggest things you want to watch out for are staining or discoloration, etching, and cracking. All right, let's go through some of the ways that you can stain or ruin your natural stone, and then some preventative measures as well as some fixes. First up, heat on the surface. Now, you are going to hear from a natural stone salesperson that your countertops are fine with heat, and to an extent, they can handle heat. However, if these surfaces get too hot, they can start to discolor and they can also crack. Now, if you already have micro cracks on the surface, heat is going to actually create bigger cracks, and that's going to lead to a very expensive problem for you. So do yourself a favor. Anytime you're putting something like a pot, a pan, a kettle, even an appliance that heats up like an air fryer or a panini grill, you want to make sure that you're using some sort of protective barrier like a silicone mat or a trivet. That is going to solve the problem right away. All right, next up, cleaning products and tools, and these can really cause problems for your natural stone countertops. Vinegar, ammonia-based products, as well as bleach-based products, as well as cleaning products that contain abrasive material, and cleaning tools that are abrasive, like abrasive scrub pads or brushes, will cause damage. They'll dull the finish, and they can leave lighter spots. This is called etching. You do not want it on your counters because it's very obvious and it can be hard to deal with. The solution here is really simple. You just need a pH neutral cleaner. Dish soap is the easiest one to use, mixed with a little bit of water. And that's what I've been using for years to clean my countertops, no damage whatsoever. When it comes to the cleaning tools that you're using, you want to make sure that you're not using anything too abrasive. So a microfiber cloth is great. If you need to use something with a bit of oomph, you can use a non-scratch scrub pad or scrub sponge. You can also use a soft bristle brush. And by doing this, you're going to maintain that beautiful finish of your countertop. Next up, acid and water. Now, acid might feel a little bit obvious, but water, maybe not so much. Stone countertops, especially marble and granite, have a chemical base of calcium carbonate, meaning that they're very sensitive to anything acidic. Now, acid from food and water spills or rings left from glasses placed directly onto natural stone counters can also cause etching, which would leave you an unsightly ring from the cup on your counter. Nobody wants that. Now, even if your stone countertops are touted to be stain resistant, you still want to deal with these spills right away. So what qualifies for an acid stain here? Well, anything acidic. It can be vinegar, lemon juice, wine, tomato sauce, oil, soft drinks, citrus fruits, soap, perfume, toothpaste. The list goes on. Truly, the way I treat anything on the counter is as soon as it's on there, I want to wipe it up right away, because you just never know. I mean, think about it. Water can leave stains on your counters. No thanks. So the solution here is to wipe up spills right away. You can also use a pH neutral cleaner like we already talked about with a soft cloth to just wipe anything off the surface. And if you do have water rings, you can actually use superfine steel wool, dry, and buff those off the surface. Now, if this makes you nervous, you can try it in a hidden area first, and this would also be a place where you could call in a pro if those rings were really bothering you. Okay, this one's a real bummer, ink stains. And I'm not just talking about from a magic marker or a pen, I'm talking about ink transfer from mailers that you leave on your countertop, even plastic bags, takeout bags. You know, as soon as moisture hits that ink, if it's sitting on your countertop, you will get ink transfer, and that is really frustrating. So of course, when you're placing things on your counter, you wanna make sure A, that the counter is dry, and B, that whatever you're placing down doesn't have any moisture in it, like a hot takeout bag, so that you don't have to worry about ink transfer, or you can just put a towel down and avoid all of those concerns together. Now, if you do get an ink stain on your counter, here is how you can deal with it. For lighter colored stone, you can use a little bit of hydrogen peroxide on a cotton swab, dip it in, and just start working the stain away carefully. Once the stain is gone, you can use a little bit of dish soap and water to rinse the area clean. Now for a darker stone, you can do the exact same technique, but you're gonna swap out acetone for the hydrogen peroxide. All right, we've talked about the different types of stains, the most common ones that you can get, but let's talk about what to do if you have a lingering stain on your countertop. Just like laundry, it's very helpful to know the source of the stain, because once we know what kind of stain it is, then we know how to treat it effectively. If your stain is some form of discoloration, so not etching being sort of the dulling or the lightening of your counter, I'm talking about like a color stain, you can use something called a poultice to draw and absorb the stain out. Now again, I will caution you, if this makes you nervous, you can totally call in a professional. I have done a poultice at home. I've had some really good success with it, so it's definitely worth a shot. And once your stone is clean and stain-free, that's the time when you want to seal it, and we are getting to that. Now, because there are a multitude of different stains that you might have on your counter, ranging from, say you left a potted plant on there and now there's some sort of mineral stain, some discoloration that came from algae or moss. I mean, you can get all kinds of stains. I'm gonna put a link for you down below where you can learn more about these stains and how to clean them. But what I'm gonna teach you now is specifically how to use a poultice to treat oil stains or grease stains, as well as organic stains. So a poultice is essentially a stain treatment that has to be kept wet for a certain period of time, usually 24 to 48 hours. And it has a liquid that helps to remove the stain, and then it has some sort of absorbing material that can actually suck up and retain the stain. Okay, so here's how to make and use a poultice, and I'm gonna cover this off for two very common stains: grease or oil-based stains, and then organic stains. So the first part of your poultice is gonna be that absorbent material. So you're gonna need something powdered, like kaolin clay, powdered chalk, talc, cornstarch, baking soda. You can even use paper towel, gauze, or cotton balls. And for your liquid, we're gonna keep it simple for these two. We're either gonna use water, hydrogen peroxide, or acetone. We're not mixing any of those. Now for oil-based stains, and an example of this would be grease, tar, cooking oil, milk or dairy, and cosmetics, anything with an oily base. You're just going to do a mixture of baking soda and water. That's gonna be your poultice. Now, you always want your poultice to be a consistency of pudding or peanut butter, so you want it pretty thick. In this case, you're probably gonna use 4 to 5 times the amount of baking soda that you're gonna use to water. Once you get it nice and thick, you're gonna slather it on the area, cover it in plastic wrap, tape it, leave it for 24 to 48 hours, remove and wipe clean. Now for organic stains, this would be something like coffee, tea, fruit, tobacco, paper, food, urine, leaves, bark, bird droppings. You're gonna make a poultice out of the absorbing material of your choice, and you can either use 12% hydrogen peroxide, which is what you use to color hair, or you can swap out the hydrogen peroxide for acetone. And again, you're gonna whip it up into that thick consistency, apply it to the surface, cover it in plastic wrap, leave it for 24 to 48, and then wipe clean. Now let's talk about sealing stone, and this is something that you want to do every 6 to 12 months. The way you can think about a stone sealant is like thinking about putting a coat of lacquer or varnish on a surface, or like putting a clear coat of nail polish on your nails. It just gives you that consistent sheen and that level of protection. So you want to pick a stone sealant that you like. The one I'm using today is called Life Proof. This is not sponsored. I've just done a lot of research and I think this one sounds really great, so it's what I want to use. And you want to start by cleaning your surface. So I'm using that pH neutral cleaner, just a little bit of dish soap and water, but I've actually added rubbing alcohol to this as well, because rubbing alcohol is going to help the product adhere to the surface better. I picked this particular finish because it is non-toxic, it's water-based, and it's what's called a ceramic coating. So it gives you this clear, consistent finish, and its result is going to be this super slick glass feeling and look that also helps to conceal minor imperfections. Now this particular sealant is safe to use on all types of natural stone countertops and finishes, like even if you have natural stone in your bathroom, like for tiles, you can use it there too. But you always want to check the package and just make sure that it's safe for whatever surface you're planning on using it. This one you can actually use all around the house. You can use it on glass, stainless steel appliances, lots of different places. So once that surface is clean, I'm going to apply a thin mist of the sealant to the surface. I'm then going to buff it in with a microfiber cloth, and I'm going to allow this to cure for 2 hours. In 24 hours, this coating will be fully cured. And this is going to help the countertop look great. It's going to prevent stains and moisture damage. Things are going to bead onto the surface so it can be easily wiped off. And then it just comes down to making a note in a calendar to redo it every 6 to 12 months. So I hope I've taken out some of the intimidation that comes with dealing with scary stains and damage on your countertops. And that brings me to this week's comment question, which is, have you ever sealed your natural stone counters before? Let me know in the comments down below. If not, I hope this has encouraged you to do it. And if you have, let me know how often you do it and if you've noticed a difference. If you love what we do here at Clean My Space, you can become a member of the Clean My Space community. If you have a busy schedule and you want some strategies for busy people that actually work to keep your home clean, check out this video right here. And remember, if you haven't done so, to subscribe to the Clean My Space channel. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.